Hello everybody and welcome to this video. I'm Naomi from TheProfile.Company. We write LinkedIn profiles for solo entrepreneurs, thought leaders, trusted advisors, sales teams and CEOs. We've been going since 2015 and have written over 100 plus profiles for individuals. This is a video about the new changes that are coming to LinkedIn. If you haven't got them yet, if your screen doesn't look like the one that I've got in front of me, it's because you haven't yet gone through the rollout, you haven't been part of the process yet, but we are guaranteed by the 31st of March you will have been, and this is how things are going to look. And I have to say, I'm not impressed. I'm actually quite upset about the changes they have made. And I'd really like for you to join in with me and be a voice to LinkedIn to get these things changed. I think that LinkedIn is a fabulous platform. I've actually built my whole business around it, helping people establish themselves as experts in their field and build a thriving business with LinkedIn as the foundation. Because LinkedIn has to date been the one platform where talking about business is acceptable. In fact, it's more acceptable than talking about things socially. And it's the professionals platform. It's where we go to talk about business and build a name for ourselves as a thought leader, a trusted advisor and an expert. Unlike the other platforms where there's still a question whether some users are on there socially or whether they're on there professionally, and you have to be really careful and balance the two together. LinkedIn isn't like that. LinkedIn is professional, it is about business, and it's also the only platform to give you so much ability to write about yourself and have your own profile. The profile to me is one of the most important and beneficial things that you can have. It lists all of your experience, so you're building up your credentials. You have the ability to write a summary and build rapport with your prospect and really help them to understand who you are, your mission, your purpose, the impact that you want to have, and why someone should want to work with you. If you are looking for a job, then obviously it's about building and complementing your CV. But for us in the sales industry, where we might be selling our own business or promoting a product, we really want to position ourselves as trusted advisors, and we need to change our profiles around so they're not CV based, and we need to be coming from a very different perspective. But we also don't want to be overtly selling and pushing, because nobody wants to see that either. So there's a very different approach, and it's something you can read a lot about on my blog and the videos that I share, and my book, What to Put on Your LinkedIn Profile, and my new book coming out, The Expert Economy. However, a lot's changed, and in this video I want to talk about what's changed. I want to talk about why it's not good, or if it is good, and I really want to ask you to get behind being a voice to LinkedIn and steering that big ship so that they understand exactly what it is LinkedIn is to us as individuals, rather than what they think that they've created. Because I think they've created something fantastic, and I'm not overly convinced that they know just how fantastic it is or what it can do for us. So we're looking at the new interface here, and it's all very nice, very good at the top there with the key items running along the top, which if we just go back to the other interface, you can see it's all along the top there still, but obviously the drop downs, you can see I've got drop downs appearing. That's now gone. I don't have an issue with this. I think that's absolutely fine. Messaging, notifications, my network, absolutely fine. However, and the drop down here, it's a lot simpler. There's a lot less there. What we've got is your overview on the side. Well, I know who I am. I'm not Joe, by the way. I am definitely not a man. I've just been able to log into Joe's account because he has the update and I don't. When you come to your profile, look, this is what we used to come to. Our name, a few little bits of information, share an update, upload a photo, write an article, and the content. Okay, so it's small, it just takes up the side there, the top, but now it's taking up the side, and it's like, I know who I am, really? How many people actually get the opportunity to log into lots of different people's profiles? Not many. It's a bit waste of space, but anyway, we've got the feed just like you'd expect. I guess this is a bit more like Facebook. But you've got the feed, not much else changes. You've got the ability to write an article or a photo or an update. And if you want to publish a post, you've still got the article, write an article there. And obviously that takes you into a view that looks like a blog, and you can start writing a long blog post there. There are changes around the network, and messages looks pretty much the same. I'm not going to cover that. I actually want to cover the profile. So I'm just going to go and look at Joe's profile here. This is what it's going to look like when you come in. You're going to be able to add a section to your profile down the side here. You can add accomplishments, publications, certificates and courses, and you can add in skills as well. And you can also add in work experience, education, and voluntary expertise. But you can instantly see that there's actually a lot less sections in there. Like interest has gone, and adding content, how advice for contacting has gone as well, which are really key places and things that they had available there. So that's all gone, and yeah, apparently add profile in another language is really important, needs its own section. Anyway, look, this is what we're looking at. The good thing I suppose is that what I see now when I look at my profile is how other people see it, which I always did think that, going to your own profile and instantly being in edit mode was kind of like frustrating. It wasn't helpful that who says I'm going to edit every single time, and it would have been better at the time if I could have logged in and just seen my profile as others see it and click on the edit button. Well, hey, now we've got that changed, so yay, one good thing. But can you see what's going on here? We've got the top, fine, this is all fine, but look at this. This is 2 lines. It's actually 220 characters, starting off of the summary. Then we go down to how many views, recent activity, which everyone can see when they look at someone else's profile, which I'll do for you in a minute. And then we go straight into having the experience open, where you can see what's been written about the experience for the job post. And then after that, every single option is now closed, and you actually have to click on it as a drop down to be able to see what that person's written. And also, there's just no way to reorder. It's going to go experience, education, and then it's going to go to voluntary experiences. There's no way of reordering that. This is the featured skills and endorsements. It's a lot uglier than it used to be. At least I never liked skills and endorsements. I always thought it was a bit rubbish. People were endorsing you for things that they didn't even know that you could do and you didn't want endorsing for. But at least it was colourful and it created something extra on the profile. Now I'm only going to see 3 before I have to choose to click on more. I don't think anyone's going to click on more because nobody was interested in the first place. At least at the time before, I'll show you what it looked like. Something might catch your eye and you go, oh wow, okay, that's interesting. It's colourful, it's catching your eye. Not anymore. Now it's just plain and boring and I have to click on it to see more. Then we have recommendations. They are bold, they're big text, they take up a lot of space, they're just quite ugly looking, and they're just sitting there. Much higher up in the profile than they used to be. And then we come to accomplishments. Joe has written 3 books, and so it says 3 publications, and we have to now click on it to see more. There they are. Okay, so previously they would just show in publications. Let me just go find mine. Publications. Now I always thought an improvement to this would be able to actually put the cover of the book to the left. Similar to, how you'd find it on Amazon. Give me some credentials. I've actually published something. I've written 2 books. Let's pop that on there as an item. But no, it's gone. And I want to just show you. Let me flick around. I want to show you what this looks like on someone else's profile when you look at it. So I'm going to go to Daniel Priestley's profile, who you might know is the author of Key Person of Influence, oversubscribed, and runs the Brand Accelerator program and the 9-month Accelerator Key Person of Influence program. I've actually written his profile for him, and I'm going to compare the 2 because I think they are the most this really just demonstrates it. So when we come to someone's profile, we're probably coming because we've become curious. Either we've met this person and we're here to learn more about them, they've sent us an email message and they want to reply and we don't know whether we want to reply yet because we don't have a clue who they are, or they've commented on something, or they've liked something and something about them has got us curious, or they come up in a search engine result, a search result on LinkedIn, and we're curious about them and we want to learn about them. So here we are, we want to learn about Daniel. He's actually got a shorter title than I actually gave him. He changed it back. This is the point where you've got 120 characters to make an impact. And I might have to go and ask him now to really put what I said to put there, because this is like the key thing that we're seeing before, as soon as we land here. And we want to know what he's about. The summary, look at that, 2 lines. I'll show you the original. So let me just bring him up on here. There he is. So we come and, okay, great. We've got a nice smiley face. We've got more of the background showing, headline. And obviously we've got relationship there. And this is all gone, by the way. So this is the most recent message Daniel sent me. And it's now gone. So I don't have reminders or tags, and there's nothing available like this. So we scroll down, and it's like any landing page for any website. When you have someone come to your landing page, you want to make an impact. You don't want to make your prospect work too hard, and visuals are really, really important. So long paragraphs of text and then paragraphs that are bashing into each other without the space is really difficult for the eye to read, and no one's going to read it. You want short paragraphs, maybe one-liners that are nicely split up. So what we've got here is a summary that's nicely split up, and we've got some rich content media. So we come to his profile, name, headline, scroll down. Oh, he's got that looks worth reading. He's got some rich content media. That's his company. Okay, some ways to work together, some more videos. Oh, look, he's got some books, he's got some videos. Great. Okay, now, do I choose to take time out of my day to read this? Yeah, I do actually. Let's go back to the top. So now, as a visitor, I've chosen to read. Today we live in remarkable times, a unique point in history where technology provides businesses greater potential to succeed than ever before. Talented individuals and dynamic companies that spot an opportunity and act can make it a commercial success, can play to expanding global market. At Dent, okay, so you've instantly told me who you are, and every paragraph is designed to lead you through. And then we've got the entry for the experience to tell us exactly how we might be able to work with you. So it becomes more tangible to us because you're telling me, right, you've got these packages and this is how you might be able to get involved. I might be able to go on the campaign-driven enterprise course or the key person of influence course, and look, there's a nice welcome video and a behind-the-scenes video. Okay, cool. So we come over here, we've got all this white space, nothing going on or being useful about that. And so my natural thing now is to go, well, who is this person? Well, I might not even see those 2 lines, honestly. I don't think I'd see them. Scroll down, highlights, okay, 131 mutual connections. He's published some posts. He's done a bit of activity. Okay, now we're going straight into experience. This is tangibly how I can work with him. Dent delivers next level business strategy and technology to entrepreneurial organisations, and how he works with people. Now, I always thought that there should be more in here in terms of being able to underline and bold. I understand not having active hyperlinks because they want to keep you on the platform, but I still think there's so much that you can still get off the platform anyway that if it opened in a new window, I think hyperlinks would be good. And then here, look, we've got 3 options to really in this is 3 options of rich content media rather than 2. And what we're looking at with this view is that there's a space there. So we're always instantly saying, is something missing? There's 2 items, not the third to go in that third space, something's missing. But I always liked the fact that it was 2 and 5, because if you give your prospect too many options, too many things to click on, they'll just click on nothing. They just won't click on anything. They go, oh, that's too much, and they leave the profile. So I've always told people to have 2 items of really clear content that builds the sales funnel. So you've identified in the summary why somebody should work with you, what you're about. They've gone, wow, that's really interesting. I like this person. I like their mission. They're obviously very credible. How do I work with them? And then they come down to the experience, and it's like, this is how I can work with their company. Wonderful. And then all the experience behind builds up the credentials as why they are the best people for the job. What's great about them? Why you're the expert in your field. And if you are an author, these extra bits, which I wouldn't normally put author in there if the publications bit was better. But to overcome and compensate for the fact that publications were so awful in the first place, I've actually created experience entries for it. But let's go back over. So we've got this missing item, which is, well, okay. And then we go down, and we can't see anything. But look how good that looked, being able to see like the title, my book oversubscribed, and tells me personally like why he wrote that book. He's talking to me as a visitor and a viewer of his profile. He's building a one-to-one relationship with me and giving me an insight, not telling me what's on the back of the book. He's telling me why he wrote the book, like what motivated him to write the book. And then if I want to, I can actually watch him telling me. And there's a second book, and there's his first book. And some testimonials. And so it's really engaging, and it really draws me in, and I can choose where to look. But now all I've got is these ugly just words. They don't mean anything. There's no colour in them. And you're asking me as a prospect to choose to click on a drop down, choose to see more. And when I do, it just feels overwhelming, and it just requires me to scroll through, and it just I don't know why I would look at it. Now, the good things I like is it says see more positions. And even on my own profile, you probably saw me scrolling through earlier, there are positions on there that really don't add to the message that I want to give out today. And if someone really wanted to go back like 15 years of my work history, then yeah, go look if you want to, it's there. So I think see more positions is actually really, really good. And I think the ability to actually squash them up, say see description, is really good. But I think it should be my choice. And I think that the choice of whether my summary expands or doesn't expand, I think that should be my choice as well. And I would say to anyone, if they ever bring that in, let it be there, because your summary is your personal message to the people that are coming. It's their ability to determine whether you're relevant to them and whether they want to give up time, stop and talk to you. But they're not going to see it, are they? Because it's just lost. And this is very much like the phone app, and I never used the phone app because it was just unworkable. I just hated it as a platform, and now the website is like the phone app, so great. So let me show you what happens now, because it gets even worse. So I've managed to spot that these two lines actually exist, and I think, and just imagine how powerful those two lines have to be to get your prospect to go, see more. And oh my gosh, did you see what just happened? Let me take you back. Right, let me unhighlight that. Let me click on see more. Right down to the bottom. All right, so let me do that again for you. Today we live in remarkable times, a unique point in history where technology provides business greater potential to succeed than ever before. Talented individuals and dynamic companies that spot an opportunity and act to, I am curious, I do want to know more, that spot an opportunity and act to, what? I can't read the rest. So now I have to scroll all the way back, maybe I was reading that, to spot an opportunity and make it a commercial success. From a prospect's perspective, where they're super busy, they don't know whether they can be bothered to spend time reading about you because you're irrelevant to them. They're here quickly wanting to make a decision. Do I want to spend more time with you? Are you relevant to me? To make somebody have to spot the first paragraph, first few lines, then to ask them to click on see more, and then to ask them to go back to the top is just too much. And then we've got the width of that page isn't so good for the eye as reading something that's narrower. So they haven't really thought through that from the point of engagement. And the actual appropriate width. This text is also not really, the width of the text is just not great for how you're looking at it. And it's also a paler grey. Now let me compare this with the section below where it's recommendations. Look how big that text is. Look how dark it is. So now the biggest message we have is the recommendations, what somebody else has said to us. That's not us pitching our business. That's not us actually controlling that message. That's it, just boom, it's big and it's a dark text. But what we want to say about ourselves is lesser of an importance. It's lesser, it just doesn't stand out as much. And of course, then you've got the rich content media that looks incomplete. And then we go down. Now, in terms of the branding relationship, the summary is the thing that we want to tell people the most, because it is the summary that draws people in to want to know more. When we get to the experience, we should never on any social media outrightly pitch to somebody and say, this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be buying. But by leaving this experience open as the only thing that there's a first catchment to read, that is exactly what we're now doing. We're coming straight in and saying, this is how we help people, this is what we do, which is great. Yes, it needs to be there, but it shouldn't be the first message. Just like when you're in a networking meeting, you see someone's face, so that's like looking at the photo on LinkedIn, you walk up to them, ask them their name, shake their hand, and say, and get to know them. What do they do? What's their mission? Pitch me. 30-second elevator pitch me, tell me what you do, and let me ask you some questions. Why do you love doing it? And I go, oh, that's really good. So how do you help people? How might I get involved with you? That piece of conversation, how do I get involved with you, is the experience entry. But it's now happening as I walk up, I shake your hand, and I say, this is how I help people. Now, just think of that from a psychological point of view. Nobody wants you to say that to them. Nobody cares. LinkedIn is about building relationships. It's about creating connections. It's about positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. It's about being gentle and just building rapport and relationship. This is not how you build a relationship. You also shouldn't make your prospect work this hard. Now I want to show you something else. So previously, if I wanted to get to know Daniel more, I would go and click on his contact information. And here I can see the telephone numbers, and I can see, well, this was always an issue. LinkedIn only allow you to have 3 entries so Daniel, when he logs into his profile, he can only control 3 of the URLs there. But because I was connected with Daniel prior and he had other things, I can actually view previous pages that he'd now really want to be done away with. He wouldn't want to show this. In fact, I still have an old telephone number on my profile that people call, and it's my old employer who's actually now my competitor, and I can't get it off. And LinkedIn will not acknowledge that this is not okay. That actually, they said, the reason why I can see this for Daniel, because I put in a help request for it, was because I was previously connected with him before and I made these updates. I put that in there, I clicked on it, and I've made it stay in the history. It's simply not true. I've been to other people's profiles I've never met before, and it's all there. I've also come in from fresh, brand new connections on LinkedIn and taken a look at Daniel, and they can see what he wants, and others can see what he doesn't want. So it's a real issue that that's even there. So I guess the best update that you can have is, well, we come over here and we click on the entries, is that actually now only 3 websites do show. Brilliant. We're getting rid of that ugly, horrible history we never wanted. But let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at how ugly this is. So Daniel's profile, the URL for his profile is at the top. Well, I'm at his profile, so I don't really need it. So can we put that at the bottom? It doesn't even fit the browser. It's too freaking long. Like, just change the text, the font size, and it will be better looking. Then, look at this, right? So the key thing you want to do with these is you want to name them and say upcoming business events, become a KPI, brand expansion scorecards, discover your influence. Which one's the right one? It's discover your influence, brand expansion scorecard, and become a KPI. So those should be the only 3. If you're brand new looking at Daniel, go check him out. He's I think he's the best. He's been my mentor for 11 years now, and I follow everything he does because he is exceptional. why was I saying that? Look, even here, look, his Twitter is showing up in his websites, and there's nothing he can do about that. So there are improvements in that respect. So we're actually looking at the bottom 3 being the ones that we want to take people to. And these bottom 3 have been selected based on the conversation he's having in his profile and the outcome we want to bring people to. Helping them to continue the conversation with him on his own platform or getting in touch with him. But let's have a look. Can you see here on the right what we're actually seeing? Instead of the title where he's giving people the opportunity to say, discover more, brand expansion scorecard, and become a KPI, we are now being exposed to some very, very ugly URLs. They are URLs that are set up with tracking, so I can see how many people are clicking through. And we are seeing this. We don't need this information. What website ever gives you the actual URL behind the link? We just need the link. So, yeah, that is just a basic website design. What on earth are you thinking? He's got one telephone number, I think, because actually the number shouldn't be exposed on there. Sorry, Daniel, I've just shown you your telephone number because I have it. And yeah, we've got the rest of his information all on the side. And I don't mind it being on the side, it's fine. But it's just these websites are just ridiculous. And the length of this URL, it doesn't have any dignity about it. And it doesn't have any freshness about it. It's actually just child's play. It's ridiculous that it got through that far, you know. So those are some of the really key things. And then on publications, so you can't move these sections around at all. So we like the see more positions. Just let us choose where. We like see description. Let us choose which we get to do that for. And yes, we kind of probably like collapsing the summary, but let me choose. And also when I expand the summary, please leave me at the top so it looks exactly the same, so I know exactly, like it needs to land me right here, so I know I was reading right there and I can continue reading. I get very upset with this. And this space is just ridiculous. But anyway, so I've got a lot of his things expanded now, which makes it nicer. But then we come down to the publications, and I always hoped that when publications got improved, it would really be improved. And the accomplishments are now all put together, and it's based, where it will come up is based on the number. So he's got 8 honours and awards, and it's just showing the top one. You know, he's got a lot of honours and awards. Guinness Book of Records, ninth fastest growing company in Australia. And it's just going to pick the top one for us, which I guess is the most recent. But, now where am I going? See fewer. There we go. To collapse it again. So now we go to the publications. I think for anyone who's written a book, they understand just the pain that goes into these things. And it's just being lost. It's like, well done, you wrote a book, but nobody really cares. We're not going to feature that on your profile as an author and make you look good. Because now it's just going to read as 3 publications and we do the drop down. This is what this sum is what I was saying on Jay's profile. You know, and really it needed that book cover. Okay. Languages is apparently more important as an accomplishment. I actually speak English. Oh my gosh, I speak 1 language. It's such an accomplishment. Like, I can communicate with people in my country. Really? And then TEDx Notting Hill, that's actually a really big thing. It's just lost. And then it's who we're following. So let's look at what's missing that used to be there. So this was always very nice. I thought the posts were nice. So we're going to go down. And I think it just looked fine just the way it was. Just the ability just to collapse a few things, especially on long profiles. You know, anyway, here's Daniel's publications. I think I talked about it twice now, so I don't mean to distract myself. All right, so what's missing was the question. The interest is gone. The personal details is still there. Advice for contacting has gone. And actually, this is really important because look what he's actually written. He said the best way to contact me is not through LinkedIn. I would prefer you to contact my office through Intrivo.com, because he's a very, very busy person and he doesn't want to offend anybody by having them reach out to him and then not getting a response or being invited to connect. And he has a team there looking after his profile for him. And yeah, it's going to be other people talking to him, and that's the best place to get started, because he doesn't want his prospects, which there are a lot of, waiting around for his personal contact. His business can't be structured that way. So logically, he says, I'm going to be frank with you, I'm going to be open with you. This isn't the best thing to do. The best thing, if you really want to talk to me, invite me to speak on your radio show, comment on something, talk to my team, and they'll get in touch with me for you. So it's a really good thing to do, but it's gone. And this was very nice as well, just the way that these were laid out. I just thought, wow. And you can see how much more elegance there is behind them than what you currently have. There's just no elegance in that whatsoever. It's just like child's play. I think you can tell I'm pretty upset about these changes, and I think this is just on the profile. And when we come to my network and we actually look at that, I understand that the Boolean search is gone. This is the ability to write add sales director and the owner, not journalist. And you could basically funnel down to people that use different titles. They might put VP of sales or sales director, and you could have both come up, or you could say not one term but the other term. It's gone for us now as free users of the platform. It's now £55 a month to be able to do such a good search. You have we used to be able to click on this and actually see who we knew mutually. We now can't. We can accept or ignore the person, and here we can actually reply to Louisa. Now up here we can't actually reply to these two people. So that's strange that it's even one or not the other, and I'm not sure what the difference is there, but you're basically going to have to accept them and not reply. You've got, again, the suggestions, which is always good, and then you've got like the size of your network, and you can click on see all. So we go to see all, and the tagging has gone. So basically we're seeing most recently added, or we can go first name or last name to find the person, but it is just a mess of people. It's just so overwhelming. So if you have 2,000, 3,000, even more people, you're just going to feel overwhelmed by this. And I can't see a lot of people just bothering with it because it's just overwhelming. Whereas before, if I show you like just a little tactic you might be interested in, I would go to my connections, and I was recently a featured expert on a group on Facebook, a lovely group called The Business of Mums. I do suggest checking that out for the support they give. And they had me as a trusted advisor coming along and doing a week of content. So I connected with every single person that I had one-to-one connection with through that. And I just tagged them as a Business of Mums so that I know the conversation and I can go back to them. So I know these are the people that have come through via the Business of Mums. Actually, yeah. There are actually, the filtering on this is just, they needed to improve it. Callum did not come through there. But you can see after about 5, actually you can see that all tagged Business of Mums. And these are all people that I'm slowly building a relationship with and getting to know and supporting them in their journey. And it was just really helpful to me. And now I'm going to have to go and run that off of a spreadsheet. So I suppose, if you don't LinkedIn, you want to make money out of me, yeah, charge me for that. But it's not worth £55 a month. I'll just use a spreadsheet, frankly. Okay, so then we can actually search the connections. We can put in like director. So let's see what that brings up. And yeah, if you were interested in what I was saying about Daniel, his latest conference was just coming up on the right-hand side there, the Dent conference. Do check that out. Okay, so these are the people that have got director somewhere written in their profile. And let's say I want people in the local area for Joe in Norwich. So I click that and I want first degree connections, but actually I know these people already. So let's go find some new ones. And let's say second degree connections, people I don't know yet that are in the Norwich area that say that they're directors. Actually, let's do authors because that is what Joe does. He is part of the KPI program. He's the with Daniel, the expert on how to write books. So let's go see. Right, well, that's just jumped down. So let's go filter these results. So let's look at authors he doesn't know, and let's look for authors in the UK and current companies. We could select one of those if we were looking for someone particular, maybe Penguin, and yeah, we can look at profile language. So there's still a few things here on the old, and that's fine. It's all on the side. So what? We can change and adjust it as we go. We can add more people in, and it's more responsive. I like that. We can no longer save this. We used to be able to save this search, and what was so good, and I don't want to sell you on the benefits because you can't use it now. What was so good about it was that when you saved it, and you can only have 3 on a saved account, when somebody changed their LinkedIn profile and updated to use your key term, it would actually send you an email and say that somebody, and you've got a new prospect, someone else has just come into this arena, you might want to connect with them. It's not there anymore. I'm sorry. The other thing as well is like when you're looking for somebody, and this happens quite a lot. I go to a networking event, I get someone's name, they want me to connect with them on LinkedIn, I come home, I look at it, and I'm like, okay, who are they? I'm trying to find them, and they've got a similar name. But shared connections really helped because the shared name, I might see somebody in there and go, oh yeah, it must be that group of people because they're all the people we have in common. That must be them. Or it might be that I get an invitation, I don't know who they are, but oh, okay, we've got 51 connections or 3 connections. They're both part of the KPI group, right? Okay, they must be a fellow KPI, or that's the kind of conversation they want to have. So it kind of helped to know that we had these groups of people in common. And now look, it says like 2 connections, 11 connections, 49 connections. So who this person is, 49 connections, well, just looking at her title there, I can get an idea for how Joe knows this person. But I can't actually click on that anymore. Whereas in the past, I used to be able to do that. So I'm just going to do the same search for myself. I'm going to put in author. And, well, let's just do author anywhere, actually, and do second degree connections. So this is what it used to look like. And it wasn't responsive on the side. But look, I could go, look, this person and I have got 122 connections in common. Okay, I know instantly the group that we're part of because these 3 people, I know them all through the KPI program. And there's 122 other people. Click on that. I bet they're all people that are part of the program. And that's why we're in common with each other. And I go, yeah, let me connect with her. I know exactly the kind of conversation to start with her. I don't anymore. I can't do that. And you're going to have to run this search every single time. Yay. That sounds great. So, I'm going to stop ranting now because I just feel a bit lost with the platform. I'm like, well, why would you take away things that were just great? And I think for small businesses, the request to spend £55 a month on a platform that you don't understand is really ridiculous. And I think they took away some of these things because they were streamlining and they were saying, people aren't necessarily using these things that streamline the thing. It's like, because people didn't know how to use it. If you just let us carry on, like especially people like myself that were training people and creating resources and videos and how-tos, all sorts of things to help them, it would have come to the point where people could use this better. And people would say, I don't know how to get leads off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn's never bought me business. And I have to say, when someone says to me, LinkedIn's never bought me business, I know instantly what their profile looks like. It reads like a CV. And that's how I would change it, and then I would show them a few things, and LinkedIn definitely would bring them business. I mean, when I started my company up 2 years ago, I posted up on LinkedIn and I said, I'm really excited to launch TheProfile.Company. I write people's LinkedIn profiles for them. Be in touch if you're interested. And someone I knew liked it. And then I got an invitation to connect from someone I didn't know. And I wrote back to them and said, hey, you asked me to connect. Can I ask you why? Was there something you wanted to talk about specifically? And he came back and said, yeah, I saw your profile. I see you write LinkedIn profiles for people. Could you do it for me? And within a week, he and his business partner were my clients and I wrote their profiles. And, that's the power of LinkedIn. When you get this right, it really can. And it's not about hard sell. It's about building relationship. It's about leveraging trust in your network. It's about building a community where people want to help one another and see each other succeed, and where they will add value. It's a place where, as a trusted advisor, you share your thoughts and you nurture your lead and say, I appreciate 57% of a buying decision is now made online, and if you want to learn about these things on your own first before speaking to an expert, let me supply you the information. And when you're ready, let me have a conversation with you, which is not hard sales. It's collaborative. It's about helping you make the right decision. And it's a really lovely approach. I think the changes we've seen in business in the last 10 years have just been lovely. It's a supportive community. It's authentic. It's about being yourself, playing to your passion. It's about adding value to people and helping other people succeed without expectation to getting it back. And it's just created a wonderful world. And I think LinkedIn was the platform behind all of that made it great and allowed us to connect all across the world and have wonderful relationships. And it's just made it so much harder. And they're saying now that, £55 a month, then maybe you can have some of these things back. But a lot of us in our business, we don't have that as spare capital. We can't prove the return on investment for that. We don't, a lot of my clients, they don't have a product sales funnel sorted out, which is one of the things I sort out with them, that free product to that product for prospects, to that core product. They don't know what their sales targets are or what amount of money they need to be generating to cover the basics. And they just need that helping hand to get started. And once they've got the swing of it, and they've got these foundations in their business and they've proved that their marketplace is interested and people want what they want, they then can go out at a lot busier, harder scale and connect with a lot more people. And that's then that the paid profile comes into play. And that's then that the £55 a month becomes valuable. And I don't want to see people not use the platform anymore, because yes, that is valuable. And I know that's where LinkedIn needs to make its money. They've got overheads. I appreciate all of that. But LinkedIn's great because of the people on it. And if you're going to turn off millions of people that made it great because they now just can't get any value from it and they think, why bother logging in? Then all the people that pay for it are going to go, well, what is the point of paying for it? Because no one's responding to my messages. It's hard to find out who these people are. I can't click on it. It's so many things to click on. Profiles are just ugly. That might be subjective, but they're hard work. Just a hard work in there's something there I should have read. Oh, I'm going to click on it. Oh, hang on, I'm at the bottom. It's just a real disappointment that they think that this is an upgrade. I don't even ask me what this is now doing. It just keeps on doing it. It keeps coming up with that Hootsuite thing, and I don't know why it's doing it. And it's not my profile on my Hootsuite to know to fix it. So I just really want to make a call out to LinkedIn that you've got to listen to small businesses more. You've got to think about this, the buying psychology of the modern age, and the asset that you absolutely had that you have now absolutely destroyed. If you've got a point to make, a comment to make about anything I've said in this video, please write it in the comments below. Let's get talking. Let's hear what you've got to say. How are you using LinkedIn? All of those things. It's just really, really important, because a big ship like LinkedIn, they're not going to listen unless a lot of us talk. And I've spoken to people who work at LinkedIn before. They don't actually understand the value of the profile. They don't understand about personal branding. They don't understand about the buying psychology. Seriously, I've tried to speak to these people. And they just think this is what LinkedIn's about. But actually, there are over 48 million plus of us who are small businesses. That's actually as a business, not the people in them. That can tell you that we actually use this thing very differently, and we're a vital part of the community. And I think we need to be listened to. So I'm going to sign off. I hope you found this useful. I hope it didn't crash all of your dreams like it did mine. We will find a way around this. We will find a way of updating it. And I'm not going to stop until we at least get the option of what we choose to have as a drop down. I think there are some good improvements, and I think some of it's just dire. So my name is Naomi Johnson from The Profile Company, and my email is naomi@TheProfile.Company. That's actually the URL for the website, TheProfile.Company. I am saying that correctly. It's a new style domain name, so it finishes TheProfile.Company. Email Naomi, Naomi @TheProfile.Company. And if you want to call me, it's 07723 602 353. And if you work for LinkedIn, please and you have a say in these things, please be in touch. All right. Let's make a change. Let's get what